Hello. Hello, Professor. I just listened to your video uh, about believing, I don't know if it's believing in Jesus or believing Jesus or whatever. But I think it's best instead of believing in Jesus, it's better, to believe it, you know, believe what he said, you know. And I think that Jesus, you know, he's calling everybody not to believe. He's, he's calling people to a life, beyond belief. It's a very unbelievable life that he's calling everybody to. It's a miraculous life, a life of complete logistical freedom, really, the freedom to move men and materials everywhere, anywhere. And so that's what he's calling people to do. And according to his testimony, that those things happen through the power of God. So, like it was said in a a recent book, I think, God is a verb, and that's what we can know about God. We can know God as a verb, we can know God in what he actually does. So that's just the thing. I don't think you should be searching for a noun in all this, Not another book, not another anything, not a special relic or anything. You shouldn't be searching for a noun if you need God, And I don't think you have to really believe that belief is ultimately important because God really calls us beyond that, beyond belief, to know Him, and that's the first of the commandment of the Decalogue. I am the Lord thy God who brought you out of the land of Egypt. Know that, know me. He is that verb being brought out of Egypt, That's God. So, there's a little bit more to the first commandment. It's introduced, and God spoke all these words saying. So it's a very important thing, you know. We're supposed to live by every word spoken by God. Well, there's nothing wrong with asking God a question. I mean, if you read the whole Decalogue or anything that you believe is associated with God, why not ask Him about it? It does take real nerve to ask God a question, but, He can answer any question you put to Him, I'm pretty sure. Not that I've asked Him a lot of questions, but, when I was young, I did ask Him a question. Uh, you know, I grew up with kids that, were, I don't know, I guess like the people you're dealing with, they get something from the Bible and, I don't know, it bothers them, whatever it is. I don't know how old I was. I couldn't have been more than 7 or 8 or something. And the kids in the neighborhood came running into my yard arguing about the bottomless pit. So they're arguing, is there a bottomless pit? Some of them are saying that there is a bottomless pit. Other kids were saying there is no such thing as a bottomless pit. So then I heard one of them say, well, there is a bottomless pit because it says it in the Bible. There's a bottomless pit. So that didn't end the argument. They kept arguing, you know. Some of the kids, they would take, some kind of atheist side to it. I'm not sure that they really were atheists or became atheists, but I don't know that they ever really came to know God, uh, through the actions of God. So, you know, maybe they're still the same. I don't know. But anyway, I I had faith in God. I trusted God. So when the kids agreed to disagree, because they didn't come to any understanding about this bottomless pit, they just decided they'd quit arguing and they ran off, ran out of my yard. So off they go. And so I'm alone. It's silent, I didn't take any position on it. I heard them all out. I heard all this stuff. So they said it was in the Bible, right? The bottomless pit. So, in my mind, I asked God, is there a bottomless pit? And, God responded to me, you know, and he responded to me, not to my ears, but to my consciousness, And he said, it will become known as the black hole. And that's all he said, you know. And it's a, you know, so anyway, I had no idea. I still didn't know, what it was all about. This was like in 1959, and I wasn't in the habit of watching the news or anything, and I don't know that there was, I don't know when the term black hole arrived, but when, many years later, when I did start to hear black hole in the news, I took note, and they say, and then I found out that these, black holes, these collapsed stars, were predicted by Einstein's work, and they were found by a mathematician, and it upset Einstein, and there was a cosmological constant that he was supporting, and that he gave up on that. And now they're trying to bring the cosmological constant and anti-gravity back into physical theory. All these things. But anyway, one of the properties of black holes is that from a certain relativistic standpoint, it takes eternity to fall into a black hole. Once you're captured by it, you know, the rest of the universe, can watch you for the life of the universe falling into that black hole. And then they say, relativistically, from your own clock on your own spaceship as you fall into the black hole, only 15 minutes goes by before you pass through the event horizon, But boom, so it's a relativity thing, but, it's from the way it's seen here, it's a bottomless pit, It's just bottomless because it takes an eternity to, fall into it from where we are. It's a weird, weird thing. And, to hear God speak to you is, quite the Israelites, when God spoke the Ten Commandments, when he was through speaking the Ten Commandments, they said to Moses, they said, tell God only to speak to you, because, we feel like we're going to die, listening to God. So anyway, that's how they did it. And when God spoke to me as a child, it's like his voice resonated throughout my whole body, And it's a terribly, the spoken word is a very occult form of communication. So consequently, I have never, asked God another question to be answered by speaking. So anyway, there are other ways to go about it. You can is very famous in dream research, where you can intend to have a certain kind of dream just before you fall asleep, right? Okay, well, for me it's a prayer, because there are all different kinds of dreams that a person could have. You could have a lucid dream. You could have a serial dream, where you have a dream that, is a little story that begins one night, and then little segments pick up each night.